I'm Representative Finnegan, and I am the Republican leader in the State House. We are right in the middle of our 2009 legislative session, and earlier on in the session, I opened up with our opening day speech talking about this Act 221, which is a high technology tax credit. Today, we're going to be talking about how that credit actually helps us diversify our economy. And with us, we have three guests. And the first I would like to introduce to you is Jason Lau of Talk Story Productions. Hi, Jason.
Hi, Lynn. Thank you.
We also have Jay Fidell, and he is with Think Tech Hawaii.
Hi, Lynn.
Hi, Jay. And also a colleague of mine in the Republican caucus, we have Representative Gene Ward from District 17, Hawaii Kai.
We work together.
Yes. Hi, Gene. So first of all, I'd like to ask you, what is it that you do?
Well, Talk Story Productions is a film and television production company. So I run that, plus I'm an investor in 221 companies. So I manage some funds that invest in high-tech companies or companies that benefit from Act 221.
Okay, and let me just take one step back. If I'm an average person and I'm saying, okay, high technology, what would you say high technology is? What kind of high technology around us is there?
Well, there's quite a bit.
Okay.
There's
the
several.
range.
The range is huge. Anything from fiber optics to marine biology to medical science to, well, film production is not a high technology per se, but it does fit within those categories for Act 221.
Okay, great, great. And what about you, Jay?
Think Tech Hawaii is a nonprofit with a board of directors and a bunch of things where we go out and try to evangelize on the benefits of technology as an industry in our state.
Oh, very good. Well, thank you for doing that. And Gene, what's your interest in Act 221?
I think Act 221 is one of the best things since sliced bread in terms of a stimulus package, or at least a way of getting entrepreneurship, money, ideas to get our economy away from tourism and getting it away from otherwise the old economy into the new economy with high-paying jobs. That's why I'm here, to hopefully learn from these gentlemen, at the same time know that we have an act that's going to be a modified 221, and I need their input. So I look forward to our discussion.
Now, in this discussion, now we know that what you do, Act 221, you know, we're not that familiar with how does it all work, but most of all, what do you think the objective is, aside from the diversifying of the economy? How does that help Hawaii on the ground level where you're at?
Well, Act 221 is a stimulus package, but it really stimulates the investor to invest in Hawaii. That is what the goal of Act 221 is, to make Hawaii's investors who normally invest in real estate, and that's what we're really comfortable in, to suddenly change their behavior to invest in Hawaii's companies and into companies that have some intellectual property or IP so that the economy will then grow. So that's the whole point of Act 221. So how does that benefit the man on the street or the regular guy? Well, it stimulates the economy, and these companies then grow and then can hire other people. And so you have now more job creation as well as capital formation, causing more of these companies to keep on growing, and the trickle-down effect of all this money and influx of offshore money from outside of Hawaii to come into the islands and stimulate all the other industries that are in Hawaii.
How long does something like that take?
It takes some time. I mean, right now we're into our eighth or ninth year in Act 221, but typically a company will take maybe 10 or 15 years before it can reach some critical mass, so it's that it can sustain itself and have the sustainability to promote and to get other jobs and be just stand on its own.
And Jay, in your experience with Act 221, what is the difficulty in trying to explain to people, you know, about how this can benefit Hawaii? I mean, has there been difficulty with that? I mean, we're 8, 9 years into the Act, 8 years now into the Act. How are we doing?
In terms of people understanding, I don't think we're doing very well.
Okay.
People do not understand Act 221. That's understandable because Act 221 is a tax statute, and the public generally doesn't want to know about how tax statutes work. In terms of understanding its effect on the community, I think we've really got to work on that. You know, Act 221 is not only a stimulus package; it is really the only stimulus package where you put money in and out the other side comes presto, not presto, it takes 10, 15 years, but it comes outside the other side, comes alive companies. Companies that actually would hire your kids so they don't have to go to the mainland. Companies that would generate revenue. Companies that would export, not import, around the world. Companies that would remake the economy of Hawaii. It's magic. It's a wonderful thing that you can breathe life into new companies using this act. People don't realize that, and we have to show them how that works.
So with Act 221, could you help me by naming maybe some of the successes? What have you seen, being that you're a part of this whole Think Tech Hawaii?
I wrote I've been following it since the radio show I was doing for Hawaii Public Radio, which goes back to 2001. And I've been following a lot of the tech companies in all of those years, and it's good to say that those companies still exist. Some of them have actually gone public. Hoku Scientific, which is an Act 221 company. There are a lot of companies involved in energy now, local companies building world-class technology. Sopogy, for example, is one of them. Kunli Agri-Systems, building algae, conceivably to be used. I think it will be used to develop energy, a source of biotech, biofuel energy. So what we have is a whole bunch of companies that have been established around Act 221 with the benefit of Act 221 investor money that are now forming an industry. We can't stop. We have to continue. We have to grow this industry. It is our future.
Gene?
From the perspective of the Economic Revitalization Committee, you guys have been made out to be the heroes and the villains at the same time. Unfortunately, as you're saying, Jay, that the education hasn't been that good, because on the street there's a group of detractors who say you've taken the taxpayer of Hawaii to the cleaners. There's $1 billion that we've paid out over these 8 or 9 years, and the data that has been collected by the tax department doesn't unequivocally prove that it's been as productive as it should be. I personally believe that the data says there's been $1.4 billion worth of purchases made, there's been high-paying jobs, a few thousand jobs created, there's been a number of spin-offs, but there are those who are saying, you can't give $1 for $1, et cetera, and they make you guys out to be the villain who are for 221. Could you say anything in defense of that, or to educate them how you have not taken the taxpayers to cleaners, but that's an image that needs to be dealt with?